Peter, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate it. Says, hey Marlon, I hope they block the ABK deal for real. Listen, bro.
Now, if you PlayStation gamers played exclusives like you claim, you wouldn't be worrying about this whole deal shit. Do you see Nintendo gamers crying about how they can't play Call of Duty and third-party games? Matter of fact, Nintendo has been suffering with third-party ever since the N64. Have you ever once seen these niggas cry about, oh, we ain't get the new Final Fantasies and we ain't getting all these other third party? You know why? You know why, Marlon Gaming? Because Nintendo gamers are actually buying that console for exclusivity. Unlike you fake ass motherfuckers on PlayStation buying that shit to play Fortnite. I mean, these are facts, man. How can you PlayStation fanboys even deny that, bro? You guys claim that Final Fantasy 16 did so well, even though you sold 50 million PlayStation 5s, and yet the game only did 3 million. So where's the rest? So you're trying to tell me that only 3% of the population bought Final Fantasy 16 and 97% bought the PlayStation for third party? I mean, you niggas are obviously not good at math, but man, there's something wrong with these mathematics, my nigga.
Listen, I'm going to go into some things here to show you guys how silly Microsoft is. Because they're sitting here blaming Sony for something that they've been doing as well, and even taking away more third-party games away from PlayStation 3 gamers, away from Sony, back into PS3 360.
No, that is a lie. Sony has been doing this ever since the PlayStation 1 and 2, locking games down to their consoles, even though they could have been multi-platform. I find it funny that now you guys want to point the finger at Microsoft when all they was trying to do was defend their console brand. Wasn't the whole point of Microsoft was to compete with Sony? But to me, it seems like you Sony fanboys wish for something. Now you just want to take back. Because now you guys are revoking, like, oh shit, Microsoft's actually serious this time around. They're actually out here buying Bethesda, trying to buy out Activision. Now you niggas can see the fear in these people's eyes. Because if it had anything to do with exclusivity, this deal wouldn't be bothering you PlayStation fanboys so much. Because you know why? You play those same third-party games just like these motherfuckers do on PC and Xbox consoles. Cut the bullshit and cut out the nonsense, man. You guys are trying to blame Microsoft for something that's so... Actually, let's be honest, technical. Nintendo started with the illegal contracts during the NES, right? You guys can say, oh, well, Sega, but Sega was also putting their games on other platforms too, mind you. They just were inferior versions to what they had on the Sega Genesis. So I don't understand this whole rhetoric that you PlayStation fanboys are trying to come up with. And on top of that, you say that Microsoft single-handedly was taking third-party away from PS3. No, they didn't. When they actually did deals with Square, they came out with new projects. Games like Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon. Those games never had a gaming history on PlayStation 1 and 2. Unlike what Sony's doing with Final Fantasy 16 and making that game exclusive, even though 15 came on other platforms. You don't see nothing wrong with that? I personally don't care. To me, it's just friendly competition. But for some reason, you PlayStation fans only like exclusivity when it benefits you. Because you didn't care when it was PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. And the funny thing is, you guys want to bring up the fact that Microsoft is out here, taking third party away from Sony during the PS3. That's not true, because Final Fantasy 13, matter of fact, had all of its development on PS3. And the only difference that Microsoft got was rights to the game. I don't think I've seen a third-party game that was literally taken away from the PlayStation 3. And when companies didn't want to make PS3 version equivalents, it's because they had a hard time dealing with the architecture of the hardware. Facts. Stop fucking lying, Marlon Gaming. Stop fucking lying, bro.
Generation. If I show you the list of third-party games that they had versus what PS3 had...
At the time, yes, because at that time, PlayStation 3 was hard to make games for. I mean, look at games. I mean, shit, Call of Duty 3 came out on the PS3. It ran like shit. There was a lot of games that had nothing to do with Microsoft. That had more to do with the hardware that PlayStation had at the time, dude. Not considering the fact that it was, what, $600 compared to what Microsoft was doing with $299 and $399 with the bundle. Really, bro? This has nothing to do with Microsoft, man.
And your head would grow. Right? But no, Sony this, Sony that. Sony doing all these time exclusivity. Time exclusivity is nothing compared to what Microsoft is doing now. Buying a whole entire publisher, just sweeping away all them games.
I mean, PlayStation did that with PS1 and 2. What are you talking about? They swept up all those games. Matter of fact, a lot of those games could have been multi-plat, but no, they secured them down to the PlayStation 1 and 2. And on top of that, Sony had the opportunity of buying these studios. They chose not to. So whose fault is that, Marlon Gaming? Sony or Microsoft's?
At least time exclusivity.
That's because that's all Sony can afford. You don't think they would be doing the same thing if they weren't in the same position? We're talking about business here, bro. Like, I understand you ain't got that much going on in your life because you just a ignorant, black, ghetto-ass motherfucker. But like I said, these motherfuckers are worth billions and trillions of dollars. Nigga, come on, man. You gotta get with the program, man. That's the problem with you fanboys, man. You guys act like you know the whole business aspect about how to make money. Because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting here with only a few handful of Switch games and PlayStation 5 titles. Nigga, I don't even got a PS5, and I guarantee I got more titles than that. Physical copies. I still kept my physical copies, just in case I ever decide to get one later on.
An example. Well, what's that game? Scorn. Scorn is coming to PS5. Right? Scorn is coming to PS5. Okay, it was timed exclusive to Xbox. Now it's coming to time exclusivity is not the same thing as buying up entire publishers. I don't know how many times I have to stress that. Time exclusivity is different from buying publishers.
So essentially what you're saying that Sony can't do the same, even if Sony had the funds to do so. So why was it okay for Sony to go out there and buy Bungie? Right? How come you PlayStation fanboys don't use the same logic? The only problem is that you fanboys see Microsoft as a threat now. And like I said, I love that because now Sony has to get on top of their shit now. Competition is key. How can you guys say that the Xbox One and PS4 was a console war when the Xbox One ain't even no competition, nigga? Do we say Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury was a war because Deontay Wilder just severely got his ass whooped? Or do we say it was a war because it was two warriors going at it, nigga? See, that's the problem with you. How are you going to compare yourself to the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo in regards to console wars? When you motherfuckers ain't even, when y'all want to compete with consoles that ain't even got an opportunity to compete. These are the same niggas that when you go to a park, they playing with a bunch of grown-ass men, and yet they want to put you in a team with little kids, and then they want to claim that they so good, even though they made a team like Golden State. Man, y'all some fake-ass motherfuckers, man. Come on, man. That's the type of niggas. Y'all want to play people with no competition. You can't compete with people on the same level as you. That's why you Sony fanboys are threatened. And I love the fact that Microsoft's doing this because all this is going to do is make a better PlayStation in the end. You dumbass niggas. Like, PlayStation is out here been landsliding ever since the fucking, like you guys say PlayStation 1, they've been dominating ever since. So why don't you all want to appreciate competition? Sony can only get better from this.
Because once you buy those publishers, you own the IPs.
Oh, so it's all about ownership. Well, Sony owns God of War. Let me cry and bitch and moan. Sony owns all these other studios. Shit, let me bitch, cry, and moan. It's so funny that you PlayStation fanboys are crying about exclusivity when you guys have been doing this shit ever since the PlayStation 1. Like, this shit don't even make sense now at this point. It don't. Nintendo niggas out here be like, oh, they got Call of Duty. It don't matter. I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, they got all these other third-party games. I don't care. I'm gonna play Super Mario Wonder Bros. Again. They don't care. At least, I mean, I don't like the Nintendo community when it comes to their mediocrity type practices of them just supporting lazy cash grabs. But I feel like all forms of gamers are doing that now. But at the end of the day, you don't see them crying, bitching, and moaning. As long as they getting their Zeldas and their Marios, they happy. So it seems like God of War ain't as good as you guys claim it to be because, shit, I'd be like, who gives a fuck if Microsoft owned Activision? We still got God of War and Spider-Man. That's what matters to us. Because you know why? You know those exclusives have no impact to a game like Elder Scrolls 6 as well as Starfield. You guys know that, man. You guys know that, bro. So stop with the bullshit, man.
Right? So you are in charge of making that decision on if said game is going to go to said platform.
Yeah, and Sony's doing the same thing.
Now Scorn is coming to PS5. Okay. It was on Xbox first. Now it's coming to PlayStation. Now PlayStation fans gets to play Scorn.
Okay, but you say that Microsoft is being anti-consumer with that when you allegedly said Microsoft gave you guys Scorn to play. Where is Sony doing the same thing? Sony's not giving Xbox God of War. Sony's not giving them Uncharted. Sony's not giving them Last of Us. So you're saying that Microsoft is taking games away from the PlayStation community when it seems like PlayStation gamers, all they want is gimme. Because if that's the type of logic that you're going to use, then why hasn't PlayStation game? And I don't expect them to because I don't care. But the point is, I'm going off your own hypocrisy. That if it's all about that, then why is Uncharted not on Xbox? Right? It's been on PlayStation for a long time. Shit, why don't they throw the Uncharted collection on Xbox? I mean, it's not like you niggas play it anyway. You guys are already accustomed to the game. Shit, throw it on Xbox, right? Why would Sony share a little bit, you know? Exactly. Hypocrisy. I can't stand you PlayStation fans, man. I'm sorry.
Versus you buying the entire studio and saying, oh, you know what? Nah, let's make it exclusive to Xbox. Forget PlayStation. Screw PlayStation.
Yeah, they own the studio. Sony's doing the same thing. And ain't nobody complaining. Like if there's a PlayStation 5 game that I want to go out and buy, as of right now, not really. But if a game does drop and I'll go buy a PlayStation 5 again. What's the fucking problem? I don't understand you people, man. This is ridiculous.
Let's dig into this. So listen to this ridiculous statement that was made. I want you guys to hear this, okay? Because this is insane to me. Now this is coming from PlayStationLifestyle.net. Microsoft CEO says
coming from PlayStation.net. Yeah, like as if this article is not going to be biased. It literally says You know, just go ahead, Marlon. Just go ahead.
It's to end exclusive war. Really, Satya? Satya, you really and truly want to end? No. You're selfish. Microsoft, you're selfish, and you're for yourself. With this whole
Microsoft is selfish, but Sony has been locking games down for over 20 plus years, bro. But Microsoft is the only company being selfish. Didn't you said Microsoft is selfish, and you said that they own Scorn. They're throwing it out on PS5. But yeah, Microsoft is still selfish though, because they're not gonna let you play Starfield. Okay, keep going, bro.
A deal situation. You're selfish. You know, you don't want. You don't care. You do anything to get this ABK deal through.
Sony fanboys don't like competition.
You don't care how many PlayStation fans ain't gonna be able to play Starfield. They're not gonna be able to play unless they buy an Xbox, unless they play it on PC.
Yeah, and so what? It's a $500 console. You trying to tell me you niggas are that broke when you can't go out and buy a $500 console for something you want to actually play? Damn, man, that's a you problem, nigga, because I ain't got that problem.
Right? You don't care about that. Oh, no. The rumor was going around that Sony was trying to buy Starfield. What do? Hurry up. Oh, shoot. Oh.
So you just said that Sony wanted to buy Starfield and Microsoft came in and said, you know what? No, we buying them. And that's how business works, nigga. Shit. This is the type of nigga I would never want to play Monopoly with. This is the type of nigga that flipped the board because he know he got housed out. Oh, shit, hold on. I got to mortgage my shit now? Man, you obviously would never like Monopoly, bro.
Hello? Yes, Booty. Yeah, this is big.
So it's
Phil.
fine for Sony to do it, but not Microsoft.
Yeah, man. Listen,
that's what he's saying.
Dang, man.
Entitled PlayStation
a rumor
gamers.
going around saying that. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. Sorry. I just got off the jet. I got jet lag.
But none of this should matter, Marlon Gaming, because you play games like this, right? That shouldn't even matter. So it seems like you guys do care about multi-platform gaming.
That Sony is trying to buy Starfield. Yeah. Yo, forget that, bro. Forget that. Get Satya on 3-way right now. Yo, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Oh, shoot. God.
Bro, let me skip some of this stupid ass shit. I got to have all that jive.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's like, it's okay for them to do these time exclusivity stuff, but it's not okay for Sony to do it. It's okay.
I mean, ain't nobody complaining that Sony's doing it. Microsoft is just getting even. Ain't nobody said it. I don't think I've heard one Xbox gamer complain about Sony doing this. Honestly. If anything, they just said, no, it's about time they getting even.
For them to buy publishers, but it's not okay for Sony to buy publishers too.
Nobody cares about the publishers that Sony's buying because they don't have the funds to be able to buy anything remarkable. I mean, you guys have been so fucking angry about this whole Starfield shit because this is probably a game that you guys were going to go out and buy on PlayStation, but now you can't buy it.
Even though Sony is not into that massive financial decision to buy publishers.
Yeah. And whose fault is that?
As much as Microsoft is buying.
And whose fault is that?
So, Satya is basically saying that...
So, this is the type of nigga, right, where if you cross him up in basketball and you're about to go for a layup, oh shit, no fast breaks. You know what I mean? Wait for me to get back on defense. This is what this nigga's literally saying. You know what I mean? Oh, you stole the ball. Hold on. Let me get back on defense. Hold on. You about to shoot it. Hold on. Let me get back so I can rebound it. Nigga, competition ain't fair, bruh. That's what's so funny about you. You PlayStation fanboys have gotten so comfortable with Sony that you don't even know what competition is anymore. But yet you niggas want to act like you better than Sega gamers. Let me tell you something. For a lot of people that don't understand, Sega went out with a bang. You know why Sega went out the way they did? Because they took chances. That's why. They didn't rely on things that people that they were comfortable with. They actually tried to fundamentally change gaming in the way we played it. That's why people have a lot of appreciation for them now, which they didn't see back then. But see, you niggas don't want to see that because you know why? PlayStation 1 and 2 and all these other consoles have been getting a free ride. And it's about time Microsoft start putting some taxes on your ass, nigga, because I want to see some better gaming going on here.
To end the exclusive war and blames PlayStation for it. Okay, bro.
It actually started with Nintendo with their legal contracts with Konami. Sony took a page out of Nintendo. That's why they came up with the PS1. Did something very similar. Came out with a piece of hardware. Trying to keep this short and brief. Some accessible piece of hardware. Third-party developers went to it. Sony did some secret deals behind the side to make sure these games didn't go to other platforms such as the Sega Saturn and N64. And there you go. And the rest is history. Sony has been doing this for quite some time, bro. So I don't understand how you Sony fanboys are so mad that Microsoft is finally getting even with you guys now. I don't see the problem with that.
Federal Trade Commission hearing with Microsoft and Activision has dealt with heavily with exclusive games. But according to Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, there shouldn't even be console exclusives to begin with. Woo! This is funny to me. This is funny to me, eh? What? There shouldn't even be console exclusives to begin with. So Satya, what are you doing right now? What is Microsoft doing with Bethesda? If that's the case, Bethesda was already calling y'all out for this crap, right? Because something don't sit right with Bethesda after this whole acquisition. Pete Hines calling y'all out, right? So
I never seen gamers get so obsessed over talking about CEOs and the games that they're actually playing. That tries to show you where the state of gaming truly is. You've never heard people back in the days, oh yeah, man, Shigeru. I mean, we didn't even do that. We just said the games were good. You guys are so fixated on talking about Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan and all these other people, spokespeople essentially. But nothing, but everything that comes out their mouth is Phil Spencer, Jim Ryan, but has nothing to do with games. Games is secondary to them.
That's why I said you should have just left Bethesda where they were at.
Why? So Microsoft doesn't have the right to compete, but Sony does? So Sony has the right to be able to secure Final Fantasy 16, but Microsoft don't have a right to want to compete? Like, what is going on here, man? And honestly, I can already tell you. The problem is that if Microsoft keeps doing this, there will no longer be a Sony. That's why you Sony gamers feel threatened. That's why you guys are so fixated on talking about Microsoft, and what they're doing. Because you do know that if Microsoft goes through with this Activision shit or all these other studios they might eventually want to buy at some point, because, like I said, Sony ain't the threat here. Apple, Amazon, and Google are. They're the ones with the pockets. Sony don't have the pockets. And you think that Microsoft is the only problem in here, then how come this same logic doesn't apply to the other big upcoming three coming up? Google, Apple, and all these other companies. The ones with the more money. Y'all know.
No. You had your intentions. Your intentions were pure on what you wanted to do. Now you're sitting here being a walking contradiction and basically saying, oh no, console exclusive shouldn't been a thing in the first place.
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, it shouldn't have. It all started with Nintendo. Sony took a page from that, and Sony has been holding it down with that. Microsoft never wanted console exclusivity. Matter of fact, this is where this guy don't know his gaming history. Microsoft and Sega had a very similar vision. Why do you think Sega games went to PC? Why do you think Microsoft put Windows CE in the Dreamcast? Microsoft never really cared about exclusivity. The only reason why the original Xbox even exists because PC gaming at one point was dying. So the original Xbox they made the original Xbox. A lot of people said it failed. I mean, I thought it did remotely well for a new console. 360 came out and hit the ground running. It only took for Microsoft to make another console to get a threshold in which they end up losing with the one, but it seems like now they're rekindling it once again. So I don't understand why you guys are acting like Sony has been dominating. You definitely didn't dominate PS3. That's for sure. PS3 was a great console, but when it came to financials, Microsoft made the most money. And Nintendo during that generation. Sony was losing money. It got to the point that I remember seeing articles when the PS3 dropped of how expensive it was, that Sony was already planning on making the PS4, and that was dated all the way back to 2009. You feel me? So, like I said, Sony lost a lot of money with the PS3, but it was still a great gaming console.
You was a part of it too. It ain't just Sony. You was a part of it too. You had your hands in the cookie jar.
I mean, you kind of had to. I mean, if a company is doing that to you, what is your way of competition? To do it back. I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's true. But it all started with Nintendo.
Out of that cookie jar. Yeah, out of that freaking cookie jar. Get out of that exclusive cookie jar. Yeah, you shouldn't have dipped your hand in there in the first doggone play.
Yeah, because you don't want Microsoft to compete. All those talks, Microsoft should compete. They have a bunch of money. Why aren't they competing with the greatness of Sony? Has finally bit you PlayStation fanboys in the ass. And honestly, I ain't even going to lie, because I don't like fanboys no matter what platform they play. It's kind of happy to see. And honestly, I do hope Microsoft buys some more studios, because all you guys are going to do is give me more content for my videos. Please, Microsoft, buy some more studios.
You shouldn't have dipped your hand into the exclusive games cookie jar.
Entitled Sony.
To begin with.
Only Sony can do it. Only Sony can do that, guys. Only Sony can dip their hand and take games away from you. But Nintendo and Microsoft, oh, no. They better not be able to put their hand in that cookie jar. Oh, no, it's only Sony. Come on, bro. You sound like an entitled child right about now. All this over a console that you could have just went out and bought for $500, bro. Like, nigga, you gotta be broke. You gotta be a broke-ass nigga.
Nah, it's just Sony. Y'all didn't do it too. It's just Sony. Yeah, you shouldn't have dipped your hand in there to begin with.
Yeah, you better. You see this shit? This is how these Sony dudes act. You shouldn't have dipped your hand in there. Like, man, what's wrong with you people, man? Y'all acting like a bunch of slave plantation owners and shit, bro. Nigga, we in the what? The 21st century, nigga? Like, bro, y'all acting like the 1900s.
Now, Satya Nadella says Sony has defined market competition using exclusives. You too. You ain't no better. You too. You know what I'm saying? You over here making everything look like, oh, Sony is the reason why we have console exclusives in the first place. Nah, bro. You too.
Not necessarily, because Microsoft, when they finally did make their, threshold into the gaming community, they wanted games to be open platform. And I'm going to tell you the reason as to why. Because it only further helps Microsoft. Because when they decide to push their service and subscriptions and hardware cease to exist, guess who you think is taking over? Microsoft does not care about consoles, and they never cared about consoles to begin with. They never did. That's what you people don't understand. Microsoft only cares about pushing their subscription services. So once Sony can't compete financially when it comes to money, same thing with Nintendo. Guess what? They're going to have a lot of locked games down to their service and subscription. I mean, that's kind of what gaming is. Microsoft made Sony fuck up by demanding to put AMD hardware in their system. All you did was make Microsoft laugh. Sony, you're stupid. Now, if Sony came with some hardware that was much different than what Microsoft had at the time, that could still be a problem. Microsoft wants things to be the same, because once things stay the same, Microsoft can take over. Because you know why? People start saying, what's the difference in hardware? People don't even ask the differences in hardware now. You know why? Because the shit that you had is very similar to the Xbox. Matter of fact, the PS5 and Series X are the same console. You do know that, Marlon Gaming. There's nothing unique about these consoles. The PS3 and 360 use different type of hardware. That's why you had different looking games. That's why when people say PS5 and Xbox Series X games look the same, there's a reason for that. And that's what Microsoft wants. So you guys are literally buying into that. So when you guys are demanding 4K 60, you are buying into what Microsoft's not running 4K 60 in Starfield in their games. That's not the point. It's the idea, you dumbass. Because they know that if you guys don't find value in your console, there's going to be a huge problem. Facts.
You was even worse during the 360 generation. Don't act like y'all wasn't really bad too. Y'all was bad. Now when Sony comes
360, if anything, wasn't bad. They didn't take no third-party games, at least from what I remember, away from Sony. Final Fantasy 13 still dropped on PlayStation. If anything, a lot of companies chose not to drop games on PlayStation due to their own choosing because they didn't know how to operate the hardware.
I can give y'all a dose of y'all own medicine in the PS4 generation. Now y'all want the damage control. You too, Microsoft. You too.
How can you say you too when you did it first? You feel me? Like that's like punching somebody and then claiming self-defense. Oh well, you hit me back. Yeah, you punched me first. This is called self-defense. You started it. You started it. How the fuck did I start? All I did was defend myself, and now you sitting on the floor with your ass out because you got knocked the fuck out. Like, nigga, y'all some crybabies, man. Y'all the type of niggas that start problems with people and then call the police and say I did it. Like, these are the type of niggas you're dealing with on PlayStation, man. They out here throwing rocks at people's houses, and yet when they get caught, they on that. This man, I hate to be like this, man, but he's on one of them black people. I didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them Black Lives Matter protesters trying to burn down your house, and then he get arrested, and then he want to claim police brutality and shit. I do nothing. That's how you PlayStation gamers act. The do nothing crews. That's what I call these fools. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I killed that white lady, but I didn't do nothing. I hate these type of black motherfuckers, bro. You black people are a fucking disgrace. You're a disgrace, bro.
Man, listen, bro.
Absolute
As
disgrace.
reported by The Verge, Nadella said...
Honestly, I don't even give a fuck what this man said. Tell me about the games, nigga. For real, bro. I'm telling you, this is the same black man that do shit like this, bro. Oh, the officer, I just took this man's car. Officer putting handcuffs on him. This is police brutality. This is how you PlayStation niggas acting? Come on, bro. Y'all here throwing stones. You fucking fighting with people, talking about you guys bring up console exclusivity. Microsoft, I've never heard Nintendo. I don't even think I hear Nintendo gamers say shit like this. Hey, yo, I don't like Tears of the Kingdom. That game's trash. It's exclusive. I don't even hear Nintendo. You guys tell me if you see Nintendo gamers do. I barely see Nintendo gamers do that shit. They're just like, I like Legend of Zelda. I just like Mario. That's all they be saying. I've never heard them use that to justify why they like the game. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that Mario Bros, man. It's exclusive. I swear to God, I don't even think I heard that logic from Sega fans. But when I talk about PlayStation games, because I've noticed it on my videos, when I say something bad about a PlayStation game, they talk about you're a hater. Some Nintendo gamers would try to reason with you and all that, agree to disagree. But PlayStation gamers are the first motherfuckers that throw out that exclusive card. How the fuck you gonna blame Xbox gamers for exclusivity when Xbox One put all their games on PC? Obviously, they didn't care about exclusivity because they did it. If they did, they wouldn't have accepted PC Xbox games going to PC. PlayStation gamers are the ones, when they found out their games were going to PC, they had a problem. Look at all the other PlayStation fanboys in the community. They were crying about that shit. Xbox niggas just accepted it. The fuck? You motherfuckers was crying. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. This dude ain't nothing but a fucking fraud. And thank you guys for telling me about this dude's channel, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, I got more videos to come. Peace.